Broadcasting from the KC Coyote Studios, you're listening to Kearney Live on 102.7 KPGZ. Kearney Live is presented by Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust, 310 West 92 Highway in Kearney. The phone number is 816-628-6666. And now here's the hosts of Kearney Live, Mike Davis and Jim Dickerson.
Welcome to Kearney Live. I'm your host, Mike Davis, at 102.7 FM. It is the home of the bottomless cup of coffee. Along with Jim Dickerson, my co-host, the bottomless co-host, Jim Dickerson, to my right. Good morning, Jim.
Oh, good morning, but it's actually afternoon.
It is officially.
It's good to be here.
Welcome to the show. The studio audience just gave you a nice little round of applause there.
Then.
Sounded like you hit about a 20-foot putt there.
Yeah. I don't golf anymore after the incident, but we'll leave that at that. I don't know if I ever told you about that.
I'm not sure we have time for you to do that now.
But I can tell you it happened at a local golf course, and I
thought we weren't going to do that.
I don't golf anymore.
I do want to mention, Jim, that we have also with us this morning Brian Watts, the producer, engineer extraordinaire, general manager of the station, who lets us go completely crazy on every Kearney Live production. I don't know why he lets us get away with what we do here. Jim?
I have a good idea, but I'm not going to say.
Well, it's good to see
we'll
both
let it go at that.
Right. I know there's a couple of fun things going on. We've got basketball, and Jim, I think you have some updates on that.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about it. For those of you who have been following, there's a couple of things going on. Number one, don't forget that the playoffs actually start Monday. And we'll, of course, be covering the games. For those of you who've been following it, we've been doing the boys' games on the Bulldog Radio Network. We have been kind of lucky because of some of the scheduling things that they've had going on with snow and what sort of thing. We've actually been able to do some doubleheader coverage and get the girls in. The girls have been outstanding this year.
No doubt about
24-1
wow.
on the season right now. The boys... Thank you. The boys team, 11-12 now. A lot of that too, which is kind of misleading a little bit because some of the teams they've been playing are outside of their conference, so it's a little misleading. But we go into conference play Monday. We will carry that game on the Bulldog Radio Network. Tuesday, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. The boys' game is Tuesday, and we cover that on the Bulldog Radio Network as well. Is that correct?
Right, definitely. We'll do the Monday game and the Tuesday game Friday for anybody who's looking that far down the road. Both of them together if they advance that far.
Okay, cool. So we'll have that on the Bulldog Radio Network. You can get that on 102.7 FM KPGZ, or you can get that on the website, 1027KMO.com. And listen to the live player there. You can
Andy and Dan.
Anywhere in the world. Andy and Dan have great coverage on those games.
Don't they?
For those of you who have missed it, you can go to the podcast, and then it has all the previous games going back several years for both football and basketball. And I will tell you, the football coverage is outstanding.
That was a delayed clap.
Yeah, and it went away quickly, too. But hey, another thing that happened on the girls' side, Caroline Kelly, I'm sorry, I don't know. I have a relative that's Caroline Kennedy. I'll leave that alone. But anyway, Caroline Kelly scored her 1,000th point as a Kearney Bulldog.
Yeah.
And that happened, and actually... Andy had the call on that game. We had it live on the Bulldog Radio Network, and we also have some video from the game. And let's go take a look at what happened. Let's look at a Kearney Bulldog instant replay.
So tie game, opening minute here in the third quarter. Bulldogs with the ball. Caroline Kelly crosses the timeline, dribbling with her right hand. Going to get a screen from Quinn, top of the key. Caroline wants to drive right, open lane, right hand layup's good. Nice job, Caroline. And Wrestler wants to take a timeout, a quick full timeout, so the Bulldogs can savor this momentum as they've gone now on a 5-0 run to open this third quarter. And it's a full timeout.
And I think that'll be the
Oh, and that's why, excuse me, I got a little excited on Caroline's drive there, but that is Caroline's 1,000th point as a Bulldog, and that's why Wrestler called that timeout. And so Caroline is going to get hugs from her teammates and a standing ovation here from this great crowd on a Friday night here in Kearney as a big milestone for Caroline Kelly, who scores her 11th point on the night and her 1,000th point as a Bulldog. Great career so far by Caroline, and more to come.
So congratulations to Caroline. That is outstanding. That is a really neat feat. 1,000th point. Our thanks to Troy Wrestler for the video of that. We took it and put it with the audio from the Bulldog Radio Network. And great call by Andy and Dan over there.
That is so cool, the way Coach Wrestler stopped the play.
Yes.
Just to recognize Caroline.
And I don't think judging by the video, I don't think she knew. Or she
is that
realized
right?
it.
Yeah,
it doesn't look
No,
like
she knew it was coming up. She just didn't.
She
wasn't
didn't know
keeping
when it
track
was.
during the
Right.
I
game.
see. Okay.
And when they called timeout, it's kind of funny because it looked like she knew there was a timeout, but it didn't all click all at the same time while it was going on.
But
so
very, very thoughtful of Coach Wrestler to have that moment for her and let the team celebrate a little bit. I don't think I've thrown 1,000 points in basketball my entire life. I mean, think about it, Jim.
what do you want me to look surprised?
No, it was just the way that you stopped. We're on radio here.
That's true. Good point. But just to finish that thought. So anyway, the like I said earlier, the girls start on Monday, the boys on Tuesday, and we'll have live coverage of both those games on the Bulldog Radio Network. That's all I have to say about that.
You done?
I'm done. Your show. I'm out.
I appreciate that. We have actually, Jim, I think this is your portion of the show as well. You aren't through yet.
Oh, I thought I was going to go to lunch. I was going to head over to Betty's place up on the hill.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Well, continuing with all that, the Golden Girls are doing quite well this year, and they're going to be doing some national competition coming up. And we have in studio a guest today to talk a little bit about that. She's not in school. We're not going to talk about that, but Grace Rothweiler joins us today. And so what do you guys have coming up? Tell us, let's start for people who don't know. You're a member of the Golden Girls, and tell us a little bit about what you guys do. What do you guys do through the year? Because I know everybody sees you at the football game and the basketball games or whatnot, but there's a little more to it than that.
Yeah, so we obviously are at all the football games and basketball games, boys and girls, throughout the whole year, and everyone sees us there, like you said. But we also are training from the beginning of the year, even through the summer, for competitions. We go to state, just like the other teams do, and some regional competitions. And yeah, we all train for it all year.
So when you guys go to these competitions, what is it that you're doing? What is it they're looking for? And then what is it that you guys are training to do? What kind of performances do you do? And what are they looking for when they're judging you?
So how it works is just there's about 3 judges lined up on a panel, and you perform for them and the whole audience, and they score. They deduct points based on mistakes or what they think you could have done better on. And then you're trying to score as close to 300 points as you can. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, because, a lot of people see you guys, you come out and you do your routine, but there's more to it than that. Are they looking for like choreography? Are they looking for, I know they're looking for like uniformity, that it's all together. So you can't have one of you that's like a half step behind, kind of like Mike is with me. And then, so what are they looking for there? And when you guys practice, what is it specifically you guys are doing? Are you trying to make sure, choreography wise, you're all on the same page, the steps are right?
I can tell Jim has never danced.
Yeah. So
do you want to see me dance? Do you want to have a competition right now? You want to go?
Let's do it.
No. So anyway, what are they looking for?
So yeah, it's A lot more precise than I think a lot of people would assume. We break down a whole 2-minute dance to every second of where exactly everyone should be standing on the floor, exact spots, who you're standing next to, and exact every movement down to like your fingers and your hands and the way your feet are stepping. Especially us, we really do like aim to be the very best out there, so we are breaking it down completely, every little thing we do.
So how I'm sorry, Mike, how have you guys finished so far? Because you've done other competitions up to this point, obviously.
Yeah, so we went to the KC Classic competition, which was held at Liberty High School, and we won first in both of our dances. We compete in lyrical category and also the pom category, and we won both in first of those categories, and we also were the top scoring team in our division.
Wow.
Then after that, recently, towards the end of January, we went to the Lee Summit North competition, and we scored second in our categories there. They didn't place in overall for division, but there were also a lot of teams from other states there as well. So wasn't exactly who we'll be competing against at state. So there was like a lot more competition there, but we scored second there.
When you think of dance, it's a performance art, and yet the way you talk to us here, it sounds like and you've used the word competition a number of times. So I'm curious, when you all get together at the beginning, are you sort of getting yourselves kind of fired up to go compete and to win? I mean, much like a sports team would?
Oh yeah, I think especially our team, it's different every school you go to, but we've all been training together, this
Right.
group of girls, since we were little. Most of us started dancing when we were 2 or 3. And since then, it's been our whole entire lives. And it is an form of expression for
Right.
all of us, but especially when it comes to Golden Girls and at the school, like, we're there to win. We're there to look perfect, and we're there to be the very best team in the state and whatever.
Yeah. Well, I love the sound of that. When you say training, I am pretty sure that it's rigorous, that there's a lot of physical effort that goes into this.
Yeah, so we all are training with the school, of course, and we have practice every week for that. We're the longest running sport at the school, so our season goes from the very beginning of school through summer even to states in February, but they'll try out again in March, so it's all year round. And all of us are also training outside of school with a team, so every person on the team is dancing at least 20 to 30 hours a week. That
Wow.
also includes conditioning and technical training and rehearsals and everything. It's a lot of time commitment. And
How many Golden Girls are there?
16.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
And so some of you included are seniors this year, so you're going to be moving on. When you go to wherever you go after that, are you going to continue in some sort of, because I know all the college schools have the same type thing. Are you going to continue with that?
Yeah, so there's 2 seniors, myself and one other. I am planning to audition for a dance team at a college, and it'll be the same exact thing, training for competitions. They'll have, instead of a state competition, a national competition there, and dancing for football games, basketball games, and everything. My other senior is actually going to an academy, a dance academy, so she'll just be training in dance at all times.
So the school that you're going to will remain nameless for the time being, right?
I can name it. I don't care.
Who might that be?
Northwest Missouri State.
There you go. All right. Very good.
Nicely done.
Good choice.
So tell us a little bit about, you guys have the competition coming up this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you guys doing, and where is it, and what are you hoping to walk away with?
So the competition is at the Hy-Vee Arena here in Kansas City, which is actually pretty cool because every year since I've been on the team, it's been at the St. Charles Arena down by St. Louis. So we're hoping that there will be a lot more Kearney support. A lot of people don't really think about dance and go support it as much. So we're hoping to get more of a crowd for us there. And since it's here, and we will be hoping to walk away with first place. The last 2 years we've gotten second. And we've been training so hard, and this is the most talented team I've ever seen. So.
Outstanding.
And
Well,
what are
good
the
luck.
what are the categories? I guess what are you guys competing for category wise while you're down there?
Yeah, so all the teams from all the divisions will be there. So there will be like over 100 teams there, and we'll dance in both of the same categories that we have been. So that's lyrical and pom. And then you get placed in those categories, and then they add all of your points together from both of the routines to place top 5 in the division.
Are you? Is this a round robin type competition? Are you selected with other schools your size, or is it just anybody?
We're with schools our size in our division.
Very good.
And which division are you guys?
We're Division 3.
Division 3. Okay, so that, and anybody can go, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be down at the Hy-Vee Arena. If anybody, if you are around, and that's all day Saturday, I guess, isn't it?
There's a morning session and afternoon session, so we'll be done. We're in the morning session, so we'll be done around 2-ish.
Okay, very good. So you can go down there. If you want some more information, you can look up the Golden Girls or go to their Facebook page or website
Instagram,
or call the school,
Facebook.
Instagram, or whatever the kids do. I'm sure you could tweet about it if you want to. And they're going to be at the Hy-Vee Arena. So good luck to you guys down there. And the Hy-Vee Arena, if you don't know, is the old Kemper Arena for those of us who are a little older in the world.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, good luck to you guys. And you're listening to Kearney Live. We're going to be back in just a minute. Stay with us.
Always remember to thank the underwriters for their support of KPGZ.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. The world has become fast-paced, and we understand that you are busy. That's why we offer a banking experience that's as simple and stress-free as can be. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. You may just be getting off the ground or ready to move into your brick and mortar building. Kearney Trust will provide you and your business with the resources you need to succeed. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
And we're back on Kearney Live 102.7 FM. Mike Davis along with Jim Dickerson and Brian Watson. We've got Kathy Meinert along with us today. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we are glad you're here. You you come from quite a Kearney family of people.
Yes, we've been here a long time.
Right. The reason you're here is because of your activities with the Kearney Senior Center. And that's what we're going to talk about by and large. But when I first walked in and saw you, and I knew you were going to be on the show, I thought, well, Dawson Meinert has to be related to this lovely lady. And I asked you that, and you said, well, of course, he's my grandson. What do you think? And then your daughter is also quite a Kearney personality.
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law, beg your pardon. Right. So. and tell us about her.
She's owner of Studio 320 and has taken that enormous places because it started as a small studio, and she does wonderful, and they go to competitions just like Grace was talking about.
Right, and Grace likely started there at Studio 320.
Yes.
Right. And it's funny because you get to, we talked about it off the air, how you get to see these little babies start dancing, and then here they are in statewide competition.
Exactly.
For their high school, which is just really, really cool.
We've been in Kearney a long time. I have two sons that graduated from Kearney in 91 and 96.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
And they both still live in Kearney. So they're
How about that?
One that's married to Tara and another one who's Dawson's dad. So
outstanding.
Right.
Yeah.
We love Kearney.
Well, and I think if, it is a testament to a town like Kearney that the kids aren't saying, I got to get out of here. And that they, in fact, even if they go away to college or whatever, they choose to come back and raise their family here.
Right.
How wonderful. Mm-hmm. All right. So talking about the senior center, we drive by that when we're on the way over to the church at, thank you, Chamber of Commerce, Brian. Words are hard. When I can't hear you, I see him moving his lips. And so I've learned to read Brian's lips. I can't read lips, but thank you for that, Brian. So I drive by there, and now that I'm 65,
if you keep going, you're going to be driving in there.
No doubt about that. And now that I've turned 65, do I qualify for this senior center? Can I walk?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
It's actually 55 and above.
Man.
So yes,
should have started 10 years ago.
We have young people that can go. So.
55 does sound young now. Oh my goodness. And tell us a little bit about it. I know there's you've got quite a few notes here that I made a copy of so that I can sound halfway intelligent about this, and that it'll stop at halfway, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, my husband actually started managing the senior center back in 2011, and he did it for quite a few years, and I was teaching and then started subbing, and then I kind of came in and took over for him because he had some health issues. So I have been there since the last 3 or 4 years, pretty much full force. We have meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the senior center that are cooked on site. We have a cook there, Renee Brown, who cooks the meals that are really delicious. And then before the meals, we have a big group that Brenda Whitlock or Lola Wearies actually leads those. And it's a peppy exercise with stretch bands. And we sometimes have 35 people back there, men and women. We some days have more men than women that from 10 to 11 before lunch. And then there are a few that come at 9 o'clock and they do Wii bowling. They'll do the Wii bowling. And then we have the group that stays afterwards and plays cards, and another group that may play cards that doesn't do the peppy exercise. So it's a busy place.
I'm exhausted thinking about it.
I was going to say, I have a number of questions. I'd like to start with Wii bowling.
Wii bowling is one of the games, where it's on the TV, the video game, and Wii bowling.
It took me a minute as well, Jim. But the only reason I knew is that I have played this game, and it is a blast.
It's fun to play.
I'm with you now.
Okay.
Right, I got you.
Okay.
And it really does require some bowling skill, at least from the standpoint of making sure that your wrist is straight and all of the fundamentals of actually rolling a big ball down the,
Don't they have Wii boxing?
All kinds of stuff.
Tennis and golf. I
want to say there's a video of a guy named Jim Young and I.
Right? Yes.
Wii boxing or something years ago.
I remember doing that. Yes, we were over at Steve's house. Yeah. That was fun.
So, I don't want that video to get out, but I digress.
No, indeed. When you talked about, you had me at lunch, Kathy. I'm just saying, but and you said they're cooked on site, and it's a daily $4.50 fee, or how does that? You just
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's $4.50 fee. Right.
I see. And so you don't pay in advance or anything like that.
They pay at the door. Pay at the door. Some people pay ahead because they don't want to fool with money every day.
Right. Who does?
But we do have a menu and calendar that we put on Facebook.
Okay.
That is, and then we send it by email to quite a few that if we have email. So it is put on Facebook so people can see what it is, and there's menus you can pick up out at the center.
I have to imagine it's a pretty good turnout for lunch.
We do. We have a good number. Our biggest number is our cook does a Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, wow.
And it's usually like a week or so before Thanksgiving, but this last November we had like 85 there that were for the meal. Usually we're getting 25 to 35 is our average for meals.
Is there a restriction for the lunch as far as like who can go to it? So for example, if you're a senior, why are you laughing?
I think you're trying to get in.
No, well, maybe,
but no, you're not. Yes, you're restricted, Jim.
No, so let's say you're a senior, but you want to bring your daughter or your son or something who isn't, but you want to have lunch with them. Are you allowed to do that, or is that frowned upon? And judging by your face, I'm thinking that's frowned upon.
It's kind of it is written up in our policy that there's no kids, but we have had a case where people have said, "I have my granddaughter here from out of town. Would it be okay if we bring her?" And we do make exceptions.
I wasn't really thinking like kids, but if you want to consider me a kid. I act like one half the time, but I was wondering if you're let's say you're a senior, but your son's 40 years old or something like that.
Oh, definitely that, and that happens quite often.
And you want to share, just to have lunch with them or whatever.
They're from out of town, and they come in and come in. We just don't want the little 2 and 3 year olds that are running around. So that's kind of why we've had to do that restriction. But no, many of them will have somebody from out of town or just a friend. We encourage them to bring a friend or somebody who's never been there, and hopefully they'll come back then. Right. So, yes.
So you're pretty much open every day.
No, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Just
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right. Then one of the things on, like I mentioned about the exercise and the meals, the third and fourth Fridays of every month, we have bingo, which we do get a big number for bingo that will come. That's one of our biggest days as far as eating, because people will then stay after bingo.
Right.
And I want to give a shout out to Excelsior Springs Rehab over at Excelsior Springs in Oak Point, who do provide our bingo prizes, and they give us a $25 gift card when we do a blackout. So,
outstanding!
Right, so we get a good number for bingo.
Can you win some good money at the old bingo?
Well, a $25 gift card plus really nice prizes like a can of soup or candy or our littler prizes are a little more, and we have a lot of prizes that are brought in, but they're just because we have a lot of people that get a chance to win, but their big thing that most people come for is the $25 gift card.
Right. Now, you mentioned to me earlier, this is not a volunteer position. You actually
Mine isn't. The only ones really out there that get paid are myself and the cook.
Right.
But the rest of them, we have wonderful, wonderful volunteers that assist in the kitchen.
Well, sure.
I'm going to mention Eileen and Hank Lagerman, who are there all the time back in the kitchen cleaning up. They're at the sink cleaning up dishes.
Right.
We have Inez Peterson that takes money. I have Bonnie and Kirby Matthews, who are wonderful volunteers that help us in so many ways. They even pick up several seniors who don't have a way to get there, and they will actually go pick them up.
Wow.
We have, I don't want to miss anybody, Brenda Whitlock, who does Peppy, Lola Wearies, who does Peppy, Clyde Miller, who is our bingo caller and gets everybody's tables called when it's time to eat. Mm-hmm. We couldn't do it without her. So
it's kind of like winning an award at the Oscars. You don't want to leave anybody out.
I know, and that's when I'm looking at my list.
No, please do. I was going to help you out here.
The good news is there's more people that watch this program than watch the Oscars.
That's probably very true. I would believe that. Tim Compton and Jim Wilson come in after lunch, and they help clean up in the kitchen. And Jean Johnson is one that cleans up the tables afterwards.
Wow.
So great group of workers that we do have.
Yeah,
so,
this doesn't
volunteers.
happen. Right. People, this is a labor of love.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously there's something good going on there.
Yes.
And, or people just don't show up for these things. We've been involved in such activities where nobody wants to show up because guess what? It's not very interesting. So.
Right. And I do want to say that I haven't mentioned this, that we do have a school bus that will pick up anybody in Kearney at 9:30 at their house and bring them to the center, and then it comes back to the center at 12:30. Wow. We have very few that use that service, and we don't know if the word isn't out or what, but that's something we wish more people would use.
I see that you've got a phone number. It says bus available and a phone number there. Is that
yes.
You call that? Go ahead.
628-9003, and you just call them and say, I'd like to be picked up to be taken to the senior center, and they will come and pick you up.
And here they come, and there you go.
Right.
Right. And I'm guessing maybe, if you don't have to drive,
Right. And we do have several who don't drive, and so that's the reason they do the bus.
Yeah.
So, right.
What kind of bus is it?
It's a Kearney school bus,
There you go.
Durham school bus.
Outstanding.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I wouldn't either.
Will they come by my house and take me where I need to go?
You could try it.
Brian's shaking his head.
Hey, Brian, could you dial up that number and have him come grab me here in about half hour?
No, it's Kearney only. Weren't you listening?
Right.
Well,
it is
we're in
Kearney.
Kearney.
Only. Yeah.
Not your house, though.
Well,
It will go all the way
It'll
down.
pick you up at the station, take you back to the station.
I don't know that that's going to get me anywhere.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
the how did you come up with the name Peppy Exercise?
Yeah, and I'm not a good one to ask. It stands for it's an acronym for something with exercise.
Okay.
It's used in a lot of places.
Oh, I
mean,
see.
yes.
Okay.
And I don't know the acronym what it stands for. So
And
it stands for exercising.
Right.
And they use stretch bands.
Right.
And you can kind of do it as you're able to.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Well,
Right.
very, very cool. And Wii bowling, I love that. Cards, I'm just going down the list here. Card players before and after lunch.
Yes, we have a good group of players that, like 6 or 8 people that'll stay after lunch, and they.
What kind of games are we talking
I
about?
knew you were going to
here?
ask me that. They don't play bridge.
No wagering.
No wagering.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Unless they're doing it on the side, and I miss it.
I'm out. Little Texas Hold'em going on there,
Right,
maybe. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I looking at my notes. I also see Focus Healthcare comes in once a month and does blood pressure checks that are for anybody that's there on the the first Monday of the month.
I imagine you might,
not a bad idea.
especially during bingo. It gets heated.
Exactly.
B6.
Oh my god! So that blew my whole train of thought there. I know what I was going to say. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Usually, I'm the one who derails the conversation. It went away again. So I'll be checking in over at the facility here shortly. Are you noticing more? It seems like there's a larger drive, especially over the last few years, to get more and more senior people involved in all sorts of activities, and not just. I remember, when my grandparents were alive, the senior activity, literally, they'd just go sit around a card table and stare at each other, and that's all they did. But I think what we've learned over time is the more you keep people active, not only physically, but mentally, just doing something, the better their health is, the better, the better the life is and all that. So are you starting to see a little more interest in people coming to the center just because of the activities that you do?
Well, definitely the activities and the socialization. And I try to, it's my teacher background, I'm going to say that
Right.
I try to do trivia things like I wrote a few of them down, like 1 month it was National Peach Day. I look it up, and so I gave everybody a peach, I think, that day. Johnny Appleseed Day. And then I'll have trivia things that some of them may be questions or just trivia for them to read, which is just good for the mind. National Egg Day I did. President's Day, I had a bunch of trivia about presidents just recently. So, yes, and right now I have out there, which is kind of interesting. A year ago I did Take Me Back to the Olden Days or something, and I had like a bunch of stuff that had been my dad's that I didn't really know what it was. There were metal things of different things. Some of them I did know. And I took it out there and laid it on the table. And people then would come along and look at it and say, oh, yeah, I think this is a so-and-so or this is a so-and-so. Like there was a shearer to shear sheep. Weird things.
Yeah.
So that went so well that yesterday, Monday and Wednesday, I did Take Me Back to the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So I have all kinds of things out there, old albums, just all kinds of things out there that old newspapers of Kennedy getting shot, first man landing on the moon. So that they have really enjoyed that, everybody looking at those things.
So the other day was National Margarita Day. So did you take...
Maybe in the back room.
Now we know what they're doing in the kitchen.
Okay. No.
Right.
No
wonder there's so many volunteers that want to help out.
The back room on
Back room.
Write that down.
Celebrating National Margarita Day out in the back. Goes along with the Texas Hold'em.
But that's kind of interesting that you mentioned, because there's you see people on well, Facebook does it a lot, but they'll show a picture of something that is from the 60s, 50s, or something like that. And it's kind of funny because those of us who are more mature,
there would be none of the three of us.
Well, I mean,
Kathy, maybe.
I'm not talking in the way we act. I'm just talking in age.
Oh, good.
But you look at it. So the one that pops into my mind, there's one where it shows the foot pedals on a car, and you've got the clutch and the bright light switch and all that. And to us, you look at it and you're like, right away, you're like, oh yeah, that's the way we used to dim the lights. But the younger people look at it like you've just shown them something from NASA. They're like,
exactly.
This car has two brakes.
Exactly. Because I mean, I don't even know. I know you can, like with a Ferrari or something like that, but you cannot go buy, I don't think, a normal car, just a stock normal car that's a stick shift. Other than, am I wrong? I mean,
I don't know.
It's very possible. The sports cars like the Ferraris and all that sort of thing, I know they still have them, but it used to be that, a majority of the cars were, and remember the old stick shift on the...
I never learned to drive one.
I'm
old, but I never learned to drive one.
I do. We called it three in a tree.
Yeah, three on the tree.
Right.
And then you'd have four on the floor, and that's the way you talked about it.
Yeah.
So
my husband tried to teach me, and he gave up. So I never learned to drive.
Well, now that I've dated myself, I'm going to thank you very much.
We've got Kathy Meinert in studio with us today, and she's with the Kearney Senior Center. Kathy, I also see here that you have money makers. You all are not self-sufficient, so that means that you're funded by the Clay County Senior Service.
Yes.
So in addition to what the county provides, you need to do some fundraisers.
We do some fundraisers.
Yeah.
Our best one, we do 2 garage sales. We have one coming up April 23rd and 24th. We don't spend any money. Everybody, I put out that we need any donations. I put a thing, come on, minimize your house. Get rid of all the junk you're not using.
What a great idea.
We've had wonderful, we've made like over $2,000 in the last 2 garage sales, which have been wonderful.
That's a pretty good hit.
Right. Yeah. Very good. And then another senior fair I do once a year, and we have vendors that come in, and I charge for them to be here, and we make money on that too, and that's been very successful also. And then we do get donate. We just recently someone passed away, and they made the memorial, so it went to the senior center because it was somebody who came there all the time. So yes,
outstanding. Yeah. Very, very cool, Brian. You showed me the break sign. Yeah, we're getting ready to take a break here. You're listening to Kearney Live. We got Kathy Meinert in here, and she's with the Senior Center here, the Kearney Senior Center. We're not talking about high school seniors. We're talking about people like me. And even though I'm a senior, I can act like a junior or something, or childish. Stay with us. You're listening to Kearney Live. We'll be right back.
Thank you. We appreciate the support of local underwriters like these fine businesses.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. The world has become fast-paced, and we understand that you are busy. That's why we offer a banking experience that's as simple and stress-free as can be. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. You may just be getting off the ground or ready to move into your brick and mortar building. Kearney Trust will provide you and your business with the resources you need to succeed. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Kearney Live. I'm your host, Mike Davis, along with Jim Dickerson, Brian Watts, and Kathy Meinert is with us today. She's with the Kearney Senior Center and does a lot of amazing work, things we had no idea went on up there, not the least of which is card games that we're told there's no wagering, but wink, wink, maybe. We don't know. And an occasional margarita being sipped.
There's margaritas
in the kitchen.
in the back.
Yep.
Now, that's
Party in the rear.
in the
Just
back.
kidding. The people who pay me might be listening.
There are. We're just kidding. There's no margaritas up there.
No alcohol served and no wagering.
That we're aware of.
That's right. Kathy, you did have, while you were giving credit to many of the wonderful volunteers over there, there was one that you said you wanted to make sure that you mentioned.
I wanted to make sure that we do, because we're not self-sufficient, we have people that help us. And we have 3 places, Addington Place, which is in Liberty, or I think it's Kansas City address, but in Liberty area, Hidden Valley Funeral Home, and Oak Point Memory Care Unit.
Right.
They bring us a dessert once or sometimes twice a month. Each one of them do it at least once. A couple of them do it twice a month. And wonderful desserts they bring that everybody loves it when it's...
Like what?
Well, I think the Hidden Valley just brought us one of these layered, she called it chocolate lasagna. That was delicious just recently.
Me?
Snickerdoodle cookies
Do
we
you
get
have any
sometimes.
of that left over?
No, it went fast. But we really appreciate that. That takes pressure off our cook a little bit because she gets overloaded sometimes that she doesn't have to do the dessert. So we really appreciate those.
Your cook doesn't always know exactly how many she's going to cook for, right?
No, we asked for reservations to be called in by 9:30. So she always cooks a little extra because we have those people who don't call in till 10 o'clock.
How long's the lunch?
We actually, as soon as the exercise is over, they put out the salads and the dessert. That you can get those at 11 o'clock, and then 11:30 is when the meals actually serve.
And when does it end?
At 12 o'clock. Most people get out right at 12.
Eat fast.
But most of them eat and get out.
Right. Okay, I was about to have Brian call the bus, have it come over here, pick us up, and then I was going to have the chocolate lasagna triple cake, and then Mike would, of course, join me in the back for the margaritas.
Right, exactly.
And the chocolate lasagna.
You're too late, though.
Is that wrong?
No. If that's wrong, I don't want to be right. Also, I see on here, and this is interesting, you have speaker topics. And so there are, from time to time, it would appear, you have guest speakers who come.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had the fire department came one time and gave us a little talk on fire safety, scams. We've had people that come in, senior scams, which is something we have to really watch.
Right.
Winter blues. Somebody came in and gave a talk on keeping out of the winter blues, health, keeping hydrated, just all kinds of topics. And I'm always open to anybody. If anybody's out there that has a good topic that they want to come in for. Somebody had suggested having a pet therapy dog, somebody who does pet therapy. I've tried to find that, but I haven't been able to find anybody to do that.
Mike does a good one on wasting time and derailing meaningful topics.
That's Jim Dickerson projecting over there.
That's true.
The 2 things he's very guilty of, I have to say. But glad you're here, Jim.
And I also did want to say that right now we are kind of looking around for a part-time cook. Renee Brown is our full-time cook, but she really would like to have a day or 2 off occasionally, or if she goes on a vacation. So if there's anybody interested that they might like to become a part-time cook, you would have to go to Clay County and do the manager and the food handler thing.
To get the health permit.
Yeah, which the senior
right.
center would pay for doing
Okay.
that. But we are in the process of trying to find somebody that would
And that's
be
a paid,
cook part.
a paid
it would
position.
be a paid position, yes.
I can make a mean hot pocket. Or a TV dinner if you have a deal with Swanson's. I can make the Salisbury steak, with the brownie.
Right.
I'm interested in the pet therapy thing. It seems to me that there is a that there is one of those in Platte County. It is an organization that trains dogs
In Platte
for
County. Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to check into that. Then,
and I may have a name that could at least help you.
Okay, I would love
get
that.
to that place. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a guy that I know. In fact, I'll just mention him. He's with the Antioch Printing down in Gladstone, Jim Iverson. And Jim has 2 dogs that are the golden retriever type dogs, who I believe both of them had been trained here locally. And if I'm not mistaken, and we'll find out for sure.
Okay, I would like to have information on that.
Right,
Yes,
right. I don't think
definitely.
Jim's listening, but in any case, that is really cool. And I think what a neat opportunity. And I know those pets do a terrific job
Right.
of visiting senior centers and all manner of hospitals and all kinds of things.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, really, really a neat service. And you've got anyone to talk about anything. You've got inspirational and make people laugh. Would Jim and I qualify on the making people laugh?
You probably could. That was when I made a survey out. That was what somebody put. Anybody that would come in and make people laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're laughing at the idea that we think we might be able to make people laugh. Now, yeah, Jim and Brian shaking his head. Yes. Brian, you just can't appreciate what we do here.
Mike, I got to be honest with you. There's 2 people in the world that think you and I are funny.
Us.
You and I. And that's it.
That's just so true.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well, we have fun. We make our own entertainment here, and that's what it's all about. You do mention here, too, with donations, you would take, if somebody said, you know what, Kathy, I'd like to write a check to the Clay County Senior Center, you'd take it, right?
Right. We will do that. And we do have occasionally somebody will give us $100. We were very, very lucky. It's been a year or so ago. An anonymous person gave us a $50,000 donation.
Good grief.
Right. So that
wow,
helped
what a
lot.
blessing.
Yes.
Oh, my. Yeah.
So we ended up getting new carpet in our back room. We had our roof repaired. We used it for quite a few different things. So, right. So big things that we can't afford to do.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you hear from the folks who show up there regularly? I know you get some feedback that would indicate to you that there's a reason you keep coming back, because I know that you see from these people who are there, who are able to enjoy all of the services and the fun and the food and everything that you have there, the companionship and the fellowship of just working together and being together with folks your own age. What do you hear from those folks?
They love the social. I do once a month with my report. I have to turn in to the Clay County. I do have to interview one person at every quarter, I guess, 4 times a year. And usually when I ask them, why do you come? I like the food. I like the socialization.
Right.
Best example I can give you is, and you may have seen an article, Gwendine Scott is one of our people that come out there. She's 100 years old.
Oh my.
She comes and she doesn't ride the bus, but we do have, that's where the Bonnie and Kirby Matthews pick her up. And she comes out there, and if you ask her why she comes, she says, because this is the best place to come. I love it. People are so nice. You just got to keep active. So that's why I do this.
Right.
And the funny thing is we do have what we call a 90 club that my husband started. And so anybody, if they hit a 90, we have a poster up with their name on it that you've hit 90 years old, and we do a little birthday cake for them. Well, Gwendine was on that list. Well, when she hit 100 in September, she came up to me and said,
"Where's my cake?"
She said, "I think we need to do a 100 club."
Yeah.
So and we did have a party for her that I had gotten a little tiara or a little crown that said 100 and a banner. And the funny thing is, afterwards, she came at a couple of days later and with the little tiara and the banner, and she said, "I want you to have this so you can use it for the next person who reaches 100."
Oh, so that is priceless.
She is wonderful. If you have not met her, she's a joy to meet. I mean, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to take her next week or the week after to my youngest grandson's class that's in 5th grade, and she's going to talk. Mrs. Lear wanted her to come in and talk to the kids.
Right.
So sharp as can be.
It is right, and I mean we hear these people that have reached, that age, the magic age,
right?
100 years on this planet, and it's becoming more and more regular. That
exactly.
quite possible that any one of us in this room could make it.
And the secret,
Right.
she'll say the secret is keeping active, and she will tell me how sometimes she gets a map out and she'll look at the map and she tries to stay up on the news. She
Yeah.
tries to keep herself informed. She will tell you. So,
What an inspiration.
yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's an inspiration to all of us
Yeah,
out there.
no kidding. So, in fact, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you: is who's the oldest? I'm going to guess she is.
Yes, she
You gotta-
is definitely our
Yeah,
oldest out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Is she on Facebook?
No, she isn't. I don't think
I
she's on
just
Facebook.
Wondered if she was trying.
I wouldn't surprise me though. Probably if
she's probably on Twitter. and
yeah, probably if we set her up
Instagram,
on it, she
yeah.
would probably go for it.
TikTok.
Yeah.
She's doing TikTok videos. I got to be honest. I'm getting old because I don't understand this TikTok thing.
I'm with you, Jim.
I don't get it.
I know. I thought I was on top of this whole social media thing, and all of a sudden somebody throws you a new curve, and it's
Well,
like, I don't know.
yeah,
what that
everybody's like, "Did you see the TikTok video?" I'm
No.
like,
Yeah.
"Tic Tac." I ate a Tic Tac like 20 years ago.
No,
Do they
I
even
don't know.
sell Tic Tacs
I don't
anymore?
know it either.
I don't know.
Well,
but
do you
whatever.
have? I'm curious. I mean, when you talk about having different speakers, and there's an educational component to this at the Kearney Senior Center. I mean, do people ever want to know about, using their computers or better understanding some of the software, or does any of that take place up there?
We've talked about getting a computer, but with the Kearney Firehouse,
Oh,
they
that's
do
right. They've
have
got that.
they do
Right,
have
right.
that there. So we
No need. Right.
exactly. So
Okay.
yes, and they kind of meet on the opposite day
Yes.
that we do. So they're on Tuesday and Thursday. So yes,
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
But they don't have food.
exactly.
And they don't have margaritas in the back.
Right.
Or chocolate lasagna.
Yet.
Lasagna.
Senior fair in July. You talked about you do have vendors that come in there. Tell me a little bit more about the senior fair.
It's like any vendors that usually we'll get them from residential places where they want to come. We have I'm drawing a blank right here.
I know the feeling.
Trying to think of the different. 'cause
Welcome to my world,
we try
Kathy.
to get a variety of whatever we can have. The veterans we have veterans that come. We have anybody that I try to find people who would enrich seniors'
Right.
lives is the whole thing that I try to do.
But I mean, as a vendor, I mean, we're talking about people that can come in and sell things and they do-
No, we're not selling.
Oh,
They're
I
giving
see.
out information.
Oh,
It's one
I
of those
follow
kind
you.
of like
Okay.
the expo where they will have the little bit. They can get a bag, and that almost everybody will give away freebies of some
I
kind.
see.
Yes, and
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no money is exchanged.
Yeah, there'll be
Right.
information. I push it as one for people who have elderly parents. It's a good place for them to come to get information for their elderly parents.
Right.
Like it may deal with hospice or with home care. Lots of home care services we get involved.
Right.
So yes.
Do you have to be a Kearney resident to show up
No,
at the Kearney Senior Center?
no. And the radio station has come the last 2 years, and they play oldies music in the background.
The radio station. This one, Brian's shaking his head.
Yes, we've had them there.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Brian,
When
for
you
doing
say oldies music,
Like
are we talking like from the 80s?
that. That's
no,
a slur.
before that. Yes, before that.
Never been called an oldie before.
I have. It's so sad.
The oldie goldies. Yeah.
So sad.
Yes. Oh, there's probably a segue in there where we could promote a show. Pete Chaston, who does an oldie show on Sundays, right?
Well, and John Christopher does one as well, I think.
Yeah, right here on
Which
the
I
radio
actually,
station.
which sadly I like,
I know what the feeling
and I
is.
listen to, but now
And we know the songs. What does that make us,
yeah,
Jim? Oldies.
I don't
right.
feel so good about it right now, but
So, yeah.
hmm.
What else here, Kathy?
Well,
you
the
had-
very last thing that we can't. We
well,
have
we're
to
not
get
going anywhere.
Okay.
You're
Oh,
not
okay.
going anywhere
I thought
yet.
we were
We're not-
getting close to
well,
the
we
end.
are, but I don't want you to leave.
Okay. Well, the very last thing that I'm also responsible for the Meals on Wheels here in Kearney.
Yes.
So that's for those are for anybody, and my phone number is 628-8618, and anybody who's interested in getting Meals on Wheels, you need to contact me. I have family members that'll contact me, friends that are worried about a neighbor,
Right.
social workers from the hospital will call me and want to set people up. So when they're being released from the hospital and they think they need it.
And this covers Clay County again?
No, only Kearney.
Okay,
only
I see.
Kearney.
All
And
right.
unfortunately, we don't even, I mean, we've got, and this again, wonderful volunteers.
Right.
Couldn't happen without my volunteers because these meals are delivered Monday through Friday. I have 2 routes, and they're all volunteers that are doing it. Usually they only have to do it once a month. Sometimes they do it a couple times a month when I'm needing help because they always pop up. So I have like about 50 different volunteers that are delivering the meals.
And I think one of the things that is so important about this is that the people oftentimes will not ask for themselves,
right?
And just out of I think individual pride.
Right.
But so as you see neighbors, or if you know of people who need help,
right,
particularly with food. I mean, we're
Right.
talking about a basic human need here.
right.
What's the number again?
628-8618.
Okay.
The meals are prepared at Liberty Hospital. Our volunteers.
All right, great.
They go to the fire station actually and pick up empty coolers and take them down to the hospital, and then pick up the coolers that have the food in it. So they wonderful volunteers that deliver them between about 10:45 and 11:30. The meals are $3.75 a meal, and they're billed monthly after the end of the month.
I see.
Right.
Outstanding. Well, very good. Kathy Meinert with the Kearney Senior Center. And Jim's got a couple of announcements, Kathy, if you don't mind. We're going to jump in on this real quickly before we close the show here.
Okay.
And I just got handed this, so we'll look at it. But just to keep you updated, next week there's no Kearney Live because it is the chamber meeting, so it's always the replay we have. Coming up next month, we're going to get into, it's almost election time again, so we've got the alderman candidates. On the 11th of March, we've got Marie Steiner. She's going to be in here talking about her platform. On the 18th is David Lehman. And on the 25th will be Alex Porter. So for those of you who want to vote informed, make sure you tune in for those shows so you can kind of see where everybody's going, because one of the things that we've talked about in the Kearney political community is that everybody seems to be kind of going in the right direction, and Kearney's been doing really well as a result. So
no doubt.
Those elections are very important. So tune in for those shows all through March.
You bet. Kathy Meinert, again, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure to meet you finally, and all the fine work that you do for Meals on Wheels and the Kearney Senior Center.
Okay, thank you.
You've been listening to Kearney Live. We'll be back not next week, but the following week. See you then. Thanks so much for being with us.